Hello good people and welcome back to Level Up Your Tactics. Now I'm about to show you the single greatest game by SuperGM HIKARU in terms of raw tactical attack. Not so much the positional style like Carlsen, but this game, when it comes to setting up tactical traps and then executing the attacks that are so forced and merciless, I'm pretty sure Bobby Fischer and quite possibly Garry Kasparov, had they seen the game, would have a grin on their face. Let's have a look at the position. HIKARU plays as black. He just played knight to h4. This is some form of King's Indian. Rook 2, e1, and he sacrifices the knight on g2. The opponent doesn't budge and take here instead. This is the beginning, not of the end, but of the sequence of attacks that are so forced, they're ridiculous. Let's boost that ELO. Let's look at these tactical ideas. Let's get it.
Round 1. Fight!
So this game took place in 2010 in Turkey during the World Team Championship. White is played by Boris Gelfand and black is played by HIKARU Nakamura. And HIKARU is just on the cusp, or rather just above the SuperGM ELO then. Boris Gelfand is known within the Garry Kasparov era as one of the top 10 players in the world. He's an absolute beast. Oh, before I begin, before I forget, if you do find this content tolerable, it's helping you in your chess journey, and you kind of like it, please leave a like and sub. You have my gratitude. Let's get started. So white starts with d4. Do we have a London? Not quite. Knight to f6, c4. g6, knight to c3, bishop to g7. HIKARU with this setup is going for the full-on King's Indian defense, a very hyper-aggressive defense that was popularized by Bobby Fischer, and HIKARU loves this stuff. e4. Notice the difference of the pawns in the middle as opposed to fast development and attack on the flank. d6. Undermining e5. Knight to f3. Castle king. Bishop to e2. e5. This is the orthodox variation where it looks like, from first glance, black is losing a pawn here, but with the exchange of it takes and takes and takes, it fizzles out because this gets attacked after, say, knight takes on e4. Multiple attacks, actually, and it's an even game, a drawish game. So after the push here, castle king. Now we have knight to c6, just asking that pawn, does it want to be pushed? Knight to d5, and we have knight to e7. There's no maneuver of going there on c5. This idea is quite clear, at least. We'll see. Knight to d2, knight to e8. I was saying this becomes a push. White pushes for the queen's side, and black pushes for the king's throat. Attack, so to speak. b4, f5. It's a race. Will black's attack work? Or will white just kind of expand on the queen's side? And if black's attack does not work, then when the dust settles, black will be in trouble. c5. Knight to f6. Piece activity, liberating the final rank, the 8th rank, and also attacking and defending e4. f3, f4. Idea is to clamp down on the dark squared diagonals, but also expand. This is full-on attack we have here. Knight to c4, g5. Did I say we have full-on attack? Yes, we do. a4. Knight to g6, bishop to a3. Ideas there in the dark square diagonal. That rook looks sus. Rook to f7. Now b5. Mounting, this is maximum tension. If you want to take note, you have all the D, C, and B pawns at your doorstep, and the question is, will your attack work? D takes, bishop takes on c5. The first kind of capture of the game. It releases the tension a bit, and now you have h5. Did I say release the tension? There is an attack going. It's going through and knocking towards Boris Gelfand's king side. We got a5 and now g4. b6. It's a critical moment in the game because g3 was played. The idea is to clamp down on these exit squares, and potentially, if a queen can land here, that's a checkmate. Potentially. King to h1. And now Hikaru uncorks bishop to f8. Bishop to f8 is such a tactically astute defense that it's a combination of a defense and an offense. It's actually a poisoned bishop. The position is at maximum tension here, but it's still quite even. But this bishop is ridiculous because it's highly poisoned. If you take it, I want you guys to figure out why that's a blunder sauce and why this is kind of over. The answer in 3, 2, and 1. Had Gelfand taken that bishop, then we have knight takes on e4. What does that have to do with anything? Why not capture this? The thing is, that's a brilliant move because it clears this idea. And so much so that if knight takes, then you threaten mate. And the thing is, this wedged pawn here is so powerful that after h3, it's kind of forced. Takes and takes and takes and mate. And let's just say, for the sake of understanding that the next move are checkmates, h3. It's still like over. It's mate in 7 because Hikaru can play what? You guys want to guess? You have this wedge pawn. This is actually SuperGM level tactics. It's not your average tactical drill, but I'll let you guys guess the answer in 3, 2, and 1. Hikaru can play bishop takes. And after takes, it's not there because you need that for your knight. Idea is here. And after king moves, yeah, it's sort of kind of over. Takes. Yeah. It's a complete crushing ideas left and right. It's over. So, bishop to f8, a monster defense, gets blocked with d6. And then Hikaru plays 8 takes on b6. Again, reducing attention, but you can't touch that pawn. Why is that? Because after, say, takes, which is a massive, well, it's a bit of a mistake. After takes and takes, now this pawn chain is solid. That's defended twice. You can't do much there. So then you have to back up. So after takes, maximum defense, yes? Then you have knight to h4. We're getting to that position, guys. Rook to e1 creates a luft. Why is that? Because Hikaru sacrifices the knight. And to be fair, after the sacrifice, this is an exchange. Because this is actually not poison. It just leads to a super complicated set of tactical ideas. If king takes, rook to g7 with the threat of open check. After takes, open check, and this is a blunder because after this, this turns into a queen and it's mate. All right. So the safest idea is to tuck the king back onto h1, which is insane. After takes and takes, it's actually completely even. It's wild, but it's completely even. So after knight takes, instead he doesn't touch the knight, which is the only kind of move here, but plays the blunderous d takes on c7, threatening the queen. And at which point, this is the beginning of the tactics. And I want you guys to have a guess at the first tactic, the tactical idea of, well, your king has no escape squares, so what's the first thing you want to do here? The answer in 3, 2, and 1. You sacrifice your queen. Brilliant move. After takes, that's a blunder because your king is checkmated. So, knight takes on e1. Queen takes. Queen's still on praise. What do you guys do next? What's the follow-up here? The answer in 3, 2, and 1. Black pushes for g2. And after king takes, because you have no other squares, rook 2 now. And mind you, you have to be extremely careful. The correct move, which is what Boris played, is king to h1. Any other moves haphazardly is a blunder. It's so bad that after bishop to h3 check, it's mate. So, rook to g7, king to h1. The queen's still under attack, clearly. What's the next tactical idea here? The answer in 3, 2, and 1. Black continues with bishop to h3 again. You take. You get barbecued. So, the opponent sees that and plays bishop to f1. Knowing that this can be potentially a checkmating square, and there's weaknesses in the white's king side, what does black play here? The answer in 3, 2, and 1. Black plays queen to d3. Brilliant move. You take this, you get barbecued. And you guys, if you don't believe how strong this set of sacrifices are, if you take here on h3, that's a blunder because of what? Checkmate. That's why it's a blunder. So queen to d3. I think Boris Gelfand here needed some Tylenol because this is a massive headache. So instead he avoids all of that and plays knight to e5. And then what does he do in this position? Again, what's the next move? The answer in 3, 2, and 1. It's so many times he's left the queen hanging. I'm talking about Hikaru. Plays bishop to takes on f1. If you take, we have the recurring theme of checkmate. So he doesn't take, queen takes, but now you have a free knight. All that for a free knight, but all of it is forcing. Rook 2, queen takes on e5, takes and takes, queen to e6, centralizing the queen, and here the opponent resigned because, well, so much control there, and he's down another piece. So after rook to d8, say, knight takes, another pawn is lost, a central pawn, and after that, yeah, all in favor of black. Hikaru can finish this, for sure. So quick recap, guys. The idea is, first, a potential checkmate threat there. The pawn is too far advanced, so bishop takes. If you take, ideas here, and ideas there. Alright? Opponent doesn't take. He closes it, but then Hikaru gets a chance to capture on this side. You can't take, because after the capture here, this consolidates the king side, or the central pawns. Bishop to g1, knight to h4, takes first. And in a supercomputer calculation, you have to take this. Otherwise, it's forced. At least after playing d takes on c7, leave your queen hanging so that you can perform checkmate. Push the king. Check. Leave your queen hanging so you can perform checkmate. Sacrifice your queen so you can perform checkmate. And now takes, and take what's hanging, just super forced. Game over. Now, it's really hard to do that in our games because we're not Hikaru or SuperGMs. But yeah, that was very entertaining, and hopefully you can apply it to your games, just the idea of perpetual checkmate threat to force your will on your opponent. I hope you get something out of that, or at least just entertained by how vicious Hikaru is. I'll see you guys later. Double peace.